Subtract with renaming. Sometimes the fraction in the first mixed number is less than the fraction in the second mixed number. In this case, rename the mixed number. Example. So we have a black sea cucumber that's 2 feet in length and a spotted sea cucumber that's 1 1/3 foot in length. How much longer? These keywords suggest that we are supposed to subtract. Is the black sea cucumber then the spotted sea cucumber? So first I'd like to set up my problem. We have 2 minus 1 and 1/3. Unfortunately, there's no fraction here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from the whole number and give it to the fraction part. And it needs to have the same denominator. That way you can subtract. Because right now this is saying 0 minus 1/3. We can't do that. So if I take away 1 from this whole number and rewrite it as a fraction of 3/3, then now I can subtract. Remember, modeling, we can take 1 full unit, like so, and that's equal to taking that piece and making 3/3. Alright, so it's the same thing. So I'm just showing it a different way. I'm renaming that whole value as a fraction. And now I can subtract. So 3/3 minus 1/3 is 2/3, and 1 minus 1 is 0. This is already simplified, and so that's my final answer. Let's look at one more example. I have 4 and 1/4 minus 2 and 5/8. So in this case, we have a couple more steps that we have to implement based on some previous lessons that we've learned. So we're scaffolding here a little bit. In this case, I do not have a common denominator to subtract from, so I'm not even sure if 1/4 is smaller than 5/8, even though from our rounding lesson, we already know that, right? 1/4 is smaller than 5/8. But let's make these common denominators. The smallest one that 8 and 4 can go into is 8, so I only have to change this top one by multiplying the numerator and denominator by 2. If I do that, I can rewrite this whole thing as 4 and 2/8 minus 2 and 5/8. Now I can absolutely see that 2 minus 5/8 will not work. So again, I'm going to follow these two rules. I'm going to borrow 1 from the whole number and make that a 3. It's kind of like borrowing from the tens place and adding it to the ones. Okay? And then if I take 1 away from here, I have to add it back to the fraction here by adding 8/8 because it's the same denominator, okay? And 8/8 is 1. So now I can add those across. So this is just 3, and 2 plus 8 is 10 over 8 minus 2 and 5/8. I can absolutely subtract those now. 10 minus 5 is 5/8. 3 minus 2 is 1. Can I simplify the fraction at all? No, it's already in its simplest form, and so that is my final answer. Also remember that we need our units right there.